Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and this is not $5. So something hill home, flowy skirt. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and you're watching Elements of Style. I'm going to be reviewing the ever popular viral internet sensation Hill House Home Nap Dress. To be very honest, the images you're going to see today I shot back in February. It's currently May. I meant to have this review out months ago, but as I announced last week, I'm actually pregnant. I've been sick, morning sickness, all day sickness, whatever you want to call it. It's gotten the best of me and I have, needless to say, my blog, my posts, my YouTube have just taken a backseat. I'm trying to relax and let these babies cook. I'm having twins, that's right. Kind of perfect timing because these Hill House home dresses are a non-maternity style, but they're actually great for maternity and then the fourth trimester, like after you've had the baby, because they're loose, they're comfortable, they're smocked. I'll get into all of that. Keep on watching if you want to know about the quality, if I think it's worth the money, and more. You know, my channel, I always like to know a little history about the brand. That's usually how I fall in love with the brand, is the history or what it meant or why something was created. I just love it. Hill House Home was founded in 2016 by Nell Diamond. It was really just originally a home brand based on like linens and things like that, hence the home and its Hill House name. In 2018, she decided she wanted to add a dress to the mix, but she wanted to make sure it checked all the boxes. A mix of function, comfort, and aesthetics. I couldn't find any actual dates listed, but I believe she launched the first nap dress at the end of 2019 and trademarked the term nap dress shortly thereafter. Kind of like she knew the pandemic was coming and we'd all need the perfect dress that we'd go from bed to Zoom or just wear in bed while we're Zooming. The nap dress is built around the fact that you can go out in it, it looks cute, but you could also wear it around the house and it's super comfortable. Cozy chic, as I like to say. I actually became aware of the brand in early 2020, but I waited to buy a dress until late 2020. I had eyed it here and there, but I didn't see a print that I truly loved. A lot of them are super feminine and I like things. I mean, my nails are pink. I like girly things, but there's ruffles and I just wasn't sure if I would like it. I waited until their signature white Swiss sheer dot came back in stock. And the wait paid off because I bought it in Black Friday of 2020. And so I actually was able to pay $100 instead of $125. The first dress I bought was the Ellie, that's this one. It has the ruffle sleeve, the smocked front, and a tiered flowy shirt. It is sheer. They advertise that it's sheer, so I do wear a slip underneath it, and I'll link the slip that I wear below. It doesn't bother me. Yeah. The second dress I bought it this year, 2021. It is the Nesli style. It has a smock top, but also has the sleeves. Similar bottom. This is in their black Swiss dot. I'll go over it later, but even though it's a Swiss dot like the white one was, they are not the same fabric. Both the Ellie and the Nesli are core styles that they offer, along with the Athena, which is basically a short version of the Nesli. It is more of a mini dress. The Caroline, which is a smocked up top that reminds me of an old-timey nightgown. And the Catherine, which is the only one in the core collection so far that doesn't have smocking. They tend to launch seasonal styles like the Sabrina, the Nima, and the Tati, along with seasonal colors in both those and the core styles. And they actually just launched a kid collection with the sweetest little girl nap dresses and robes. To talk about specifics of the dress, each dress has specific details to it. It sounds obvious, but I'll talk about in a complaint section of just sometimes people have complained about the fabric. So make sure that you're reading the description and know what you're buying. This white Swiss dot is 100% cotton. It is soft, flowy, and sheer like I already mentioned. Now that white Swiss dot is sheer, and like I said, they advertise it as sheer, but this is a Swiss dot and it's not sheer at all. It's actually different fiber content as well. It's 60% cotton and 40% viscose. I wouldn't say that it's scratchy or uncomfortable, but it's not as soft as the cotton fabric used in this. It makes sense because cotton is typically going to be softer, whereas this uses viscose, a man-made fiber. So chances are it's not going to be as soft. It kind of crinkles. I don't know if you can hear it. It was pretty crisp when I first bought it. It has uncrisped, if you will, but it's still not as soft as the other one, and I don't think it ever will be. It doesn't bother me, I just wanted to reference it. Now, when I bought my first dress last year, they were kind of still in the infancy of the dress. It had gone viral, they sold out, they were restocking, trying to figure out what to do, and they didn't have sizing information on their website yet. They now have sizing recommendations on their website. However, I'm still gonna go over it today because that's the original reason I wanted to make this video, because I wasn't sure what size to get. In the Ellie dress, I actually got a size small, super happy with the size small. I could have sized down to an extra small, but fits great, it's comfortable. Now, when I bought the Nesli, they had updated their website to have on both the Ellie and the Nesli, updated it to say it runs big and to size down. I was like, I'm still gonna order a small because that's why I ordered the Ellie and it was fine. However, I ordered a small in the Nesli and ended up exchanging it for an extra small. I think it might have just been a personal preference for me, just because this dress has a lot going on with the sleeves and with the full skirt. With the Ellie, at least, you have a little bit, it's like backed off a little bit just because there's no sleeves. And I felt with the size small that it just came a little bit too much off of my waist and made me look bigger than I was. I did not feel comfortable. I sized down to the extra small, fits great, works like a charm. Like I said, the website says for both of these now to size down. I'd probably say that's true, but I'm also fine with my small in the Ellie, and if I ordered again, I'd probably still order a small. Good rule of thumb is to size down for the dresses here, but there is one dress, and I can't remember what it's called, that I believe it says to size up in. Read the size description and go from there. If you do have to exchange, it's a very easy process, super painless, and it was free and easy, so can't complain there. Just for reference, I am 5'7.5". My pre-pregnancy weight is usually around 130 pounds, and I normally wear a size 4 in dresses. Sometimes I size up to a size 6 if it's tight around my hips, but these babies are loose as a goose around your booty, so I didn't have to size up for that reason. Talk about the price. Hill House dresses will basically run you $125, give or take. Some a little bit less, some a little bit more, especially depending on the fabric. And if they have a sale, you get 20% off sometimes, not always. But I know that's not cheap for a dress, so I just want to address, that's redundant. I just wanted to talk about the price here. For some reason, when I originally bought the dress, I thought they were made in the United States. They are not, they're based here, but they actually use factories all over the world. The Ellie dress in 100% cotton that I have was made in Madagascar, and the Nesli dress, the viscose and cotton blend, was actually made in China. I reference that because made in the USA garments are normally more expensive and I'm willing to pay that price, but these aren't. But I will talk about why I think they are worth the price. I think the price makes sense, if you will. So something Hill House is known for is the fact that their dresses are smocked. When you smock a dress, it ruches the fabric together, and so it creates a great stretchy feel that is just really easy to wear and versatile in sizing, but it takes up extra fabric. So you've got the smocking. You got the smocking here. You have the ruffle, which ruffles take extra fabric. And then you have the skirt of the dress, which is nice and flowy. Guess what nice and flowy calls for? Extra fabric. And it's not just a straight down fabric, it's tiered, meaning they're sewn along this, so it's more fabric than if it was just straight, which helps it be flowy. So all that to say, this dress takes a lot of fabric. Same with the Nesli. You have the sleeves, you have the details on the sleeves, you have the smocking on the sleeves, the smocking here, and the dress is flowy. So this should just cost more than a straight down sheath dress with no detail. There are dupes, if you will, of this dress that you will find cheaper, but I haven't found one that's smocked as well as the Hill House dresses. Most of the other options that are trying to copy this look are also see-through. Now, and I'm not saying in a Ellie sheer white dot kind of way, like this doesn't on purpose, it's just the fabric is cheap. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping for things. Additionally, something else that adds on to the cost is that Hill House has committed to using non-toxic materials. Back this with testing and high compliance standards. It's great because they don't use harsh chemicals, so those aren't rubbing up against your skin, but guess what? It adds cost. It is harder to do that than it is to not. It makes sense, but I just think most people don't consider the average cost of what things actually take to make. Because my background's in apparel, I'm happy to share that information with you. They also diligently work with their manufacturers to make sure that they are employing people and taking care of them, paying them enough, all the things. When you buy a dress for $20, I'm not saying that is bad. The first thing that comes into my head is, oh, how much did they pay the worker who sewed this dress? Also trying to lessen their environmental waste, which, as we know, say it with me, costs money. Plan to eliminate the use of single-use plastic by the end of this year. All this to say, the $125 doesn't bother me because a lot of things they're doing add up to that price. They don't cut corners, and most of the things they do incur a cost versus remain neutral or lessen the price. I think we've all come to expect cheaper things just because of fast fashion and because of coupons. You didn't used to be able to buy a $30 dress off Amazon. So that's the basics of Hill House. Now let's talk about complaints and opinions. I hinted at it earlier, but one of the main complaints I've heard about Hill House is the fabric. Now, this has come from people who just tried the brand this year. They heard about it in the pandemic, sold out in their size, or maybe they only able to get their hands on it now. Regardless, I've heard people talk about the fabric. Apparently, the tried and true styles are more soft, and the fashion styles or seasonal styles are not as soft usually. I don't think that's on purpose, but apparently, if you ask the OG people, the original fabrics were a lot softer and nicer. I don't think nicer is the right word, but if you're talking about softer, nicer, better, softer, whatever they're expecting, it wasn't that. Now, the thing that people were talking about this on was actually the blue glitter check that was from this most recent spring collection, which actually has a small line of glitter in it. And if you've ever touched a glitter fabric, or even just think about glitter in its natural state, it's kind of like hard or crusty. And so that's what's in the thread. So it makes sense to me that that would feel a little crunchy. Like I mentioned, this dress is a little crunchy. It's not rough, but it's not soft by any means. The other thing about the fabric is that on that one specifically, again, people didn't read the description, and it does say glitter, but when you're just staring at it on the website, it kind of just looks like blue. They've had a chambray one in the past. It looks similar. It was an honest mistake. If you zoom in on it, you can see the glitter. It does say glitter in the name, but I don't know. People don't read care labels. They don't read descriptions. Not really surprised. People I knew who bought that also ended up keeping it. They were just kind of in shock when they received it and were expecting something different. So just unmet expectations versus the fabric actually not being good and of poor quality. Second complaint I've heard is that people wish that pockets were in the dress. And I think pockets are nice. That would have been a nice touch, but honestly, sometimes pockets in dresses just kind of give you a weird shape. It adds bulk, and I'd say the skirt of the dress is already pretty bulky and it doesn't need it. Also, guess what? Adding pockets add cost. You're literally cutting 2 more pieces of fabric and then cutting a hole and sewing it. So it's gonna be more expensive for fabric and more expensive for labor. Most people who I saw wanted pockets also didn't like the price of $125. So you gotta know what things cost. Care label. This is actually my personal complaint, but it isn't really valid anymore because they've changed it. My sweet husband did the laundry. This was in the whites pile to wash. I forgot that it was in the pile and told him he could just dry everything in the basket, forgetting this was there. So he washed it and dried it. Not his fault. I told him everything could be dried. But I definitely freaked out whenever this guy came out of the warm, fresh out of the dryer basket. I immediately looked at the care label to see what it said, and to my horror, it said hand wash only. It's 100% cotton. Like, I would never think that it was hand wash only. I would never dry it, but I also would never think I had to hand wash this. It doesn't feel like a really delicate fabric. It's thin, but I wouldn't say it's like delicate or that I think it'd break. Rip, whatever. Needless to say, my dress survived the wash and dry. It is machine washable. I still wouldn't dry it again. And one of the reasons I wouldn't dry it is just because when you dry elastic, which is in smocking, it makes it more brittle and you have a shorter lifespan on it. So it'll just make your clothes last longer if you do not dry this. You can wash it. And they actually updated the care label. I obviously don't have a new Ellie dress, but on their website, it now says machine washable. And my Nesli dress in the care label does say machine washable. This is a complaint for me because I think a lot of brands will just slap on a hand wash only or dry clean only because they don't want to be liable and they don't want to test for washing and what the rules actually need to say. My overall thoughts on the dress. Do I think it is the best thing since sliced bread? Probably not. Do I think it is very comfortable for how chic it is? Absolutely. It's kind of the right place, right time thing that they went viral with the pandemic. It just made sense. People were just looking for a dress that they could work from home in and take a nap in between those work meetings, and the pandemic really pushed that through. I don't think these dresses are for everyone. Nick calls the Nesli dress my Little House on the Prairie dress. However, I always get compliments from other women whenever I wear it. It's funny how there's some styles that just guys don't like, but ladies are like, yeah, I appreciate that. I like it, love the look. This is one of them. Really like that it's comfortable. I can wear it with sneakers. I've worn it with heeled booties. I've worn it with flats. You could wear it with heels, wedges, you name it, it looks good with it. Looks super cute with a denim jacket if you're dressing it down. One reason why I waited so long to pull the trigger on a nap dress in general is because I thought this was gonna be too feminine for me. I'm not a tomboy, but like I said, I'm not like super feminine, and I thought these would be a lot, but because I think that this fabric is basic with just the white, it didn't feel as bad on me, and I obviously kept it and I enjoy wearing it. Don't be afraid of the ruffles, try it out. If you don't like it, exchange it. Like I said, the whole process was super easy and free. Overall, I do recommend this dress, especially if you're in the market for a loose, flowy, chic, Little House on the Prairie type dress. I also love supporting a female-run brand like Hill House Home is. If you have $125, I would definitely say buy it. I have been reaching for dresses like this all year, especially since I found out I was pregnant, so I don't think I'll stop reaching for it. It's so nice to not have something like tight over my belly. It's comfortable. It's something other than sweats. If you don't have a budget, I completely understand. I do have one dupe that's actually pretty good. It's $30 off of Amazon, and it's nicely lined. It has great fabric. It's not gonna be as smocked and fitted up here, but it still is really cute, and so I'll link that below for you. I totally get it. I don't want you to max out your credit cards buying a Hill House Home dress. It's not worth it. Budget for it, save for it, or I'll share the Amazon dupe below. For the sleeved one, I don't have one. For this one, it's pretty specific, but I will update it. Oh, it keeps happening. I will update it if I ever find one. So what do you think? Have you tried the Hill House Home Nap Dress? Do you think it's worth it, not worth it? Let me know. And also let me know if there's another viral trend you think I should try out and review for you, or if there's another product you want me to review. I love making these videos for you, and I'm always looking for my next one. I have a blog post that says all of this and has some pictures in there for you so you can see how I styled it, and I will link that below. You can also follow along on my blog yourself at elementsofstyle.com. You can follow on my Instagram at elmalinas, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.